Don't stop creating because people in your life don't support you. This is something that a lot of creators struggle with. You see the complaints on Threads, the not so cryptic story quote reposts, and I hear it time and time again on the one-on-one calls I do with creators who want to make a sustainable business out of this social media thing. My friends and family don't support me, they don't engage with my stuff, they don't watch my videos. And this can hurt. And for a lot of creators, it's enough to get them defeated and want to quit posting on social media altogether. And my response has always been, so what? If you're getting defeated by this, it's unlikely you're going to have thick enough skin to do this thing long term. Okay, I usually say it a little bit kinder than that. My go-to is usually that your friends and your family are not your target audience, so keep it pushing. I never really understood why people were so bothered by this, because I've honestly never thought twice about whether or not somebody I knew in real life engaged with my content. But based on how frequently I've seen this topic come up over the years, I'm realizing that I have to consider myself lucky that this wasn't a mental hurdle I've had to overcome. But recently, I think I needed to be humbled a bit so that I could engage with people on this topic more empathetically. And for the first time in my 9 years of content creating, I've had this little tingle of feeling a certain type of way about the fact that people in my life weren't watching my stuff. So I want to talk about it. But first, a message to those of you who are weighed down by this lack of support from your friends and family. And I'm sorry that I keep putting this in air quotes, it's gonna make sense later. You should absolutely keep creating content regardless of what anyone in your day-to-day life has to say about it. As long as you're not creating content that's super harmful and the people in your life are trying to give you some sound advice about it. And so I want to share a couple things that will hopefully help you stop caring as much about what the people in your life say or how they interact with the things you post. First, as I said earlier, your friends and family are not your target audience. And this actually is so important to understand that it can literally make or break your business. Having friends and family arbitrarily engage with your stuff to support you can actually harm your success. Especially if you are a new or a smaller channel or account, having people whose only real shared characteristic is the fact that they know you engage with your stuff does not give the algorithm a lot to go off of. You've given it basically no information on who it should show your content to next. At most, if all your friends and family are in the same geographic area, it might test it with a few more people who live in your area. But if you're not creating content specific to your city, it's not going to resonate and it's going to flop. You've effectively stunted your growth. Think about it this way. If you are creating beauty wellness content for Gen Z, and the first people liking and commenting your stuff are your parents, your family, even some of your friends, but friends that maybe aren't super into that type of content, you've completely confused the algorithm. This also plays out super practically with small businesses, where you'll also hear very similar complaints from small business owners. And again, I've got some harsh words. Focusing on whether or not your friends and family are buying your stuff is keeping your business small. For a business to succeed on a bigger scale, they need to be super clear on who their target audience is, their demographic that they're trying to reach. And to do so, they're going to need to look way beyond and past their personal social circle. And so same goes for creators. And so while that's the key point that if you take nothing else away from this, you remember and hold on to that, I do have some other reasons as to why your friends and family might not be supporting you the way you like, and why that's okay, why we should release it a bit. Support looks different for different people. My husband doesn't even have social media, and so support from him looks like supporting me as I go on this venture, being my cheerleader, holding me accountable to the work that I say I'm gonna do, keeping me fed, and helping me go out and shoot content when I need it. For me, that is all worth a lot more than him getting an Instagram account and liking and commenting on everything. And if you're looking specifically to some of your friends, maybe support looks like the fact that they're able to give you a bit of a reprise from being so work focused all the time. They fill your social battery and allow you to rest from content creating. Or maybe it's just being a listening ear as you rant for the 80 millionth time about the algorithm. Social media is also evolving. Even when I look at my own engagement habits, I'm not stopping to like and comment as much as I used to. But I think this is a bit by design of the algorithms themselves. They've evolved to basically constantly shove content down our throats to the point where like the only action we really need to be taking is like this action as we doom scroll. And when we're trapped in that doom scroll, it can actually take a lot to like get us to snap out of it and stop, pause, break the rhythm, and like and engage with something. We're also entering a time where people are just feeling really burnt out and overwhelmed by content. And so I often think that somebody not explicitly engaging with our content is not always, if ever, a representation of like them not supporting us. I feel like it's a bit of a bigger picture problem about how people use social media nowadays. And for people who aren't as deeply plugged into the social media space and discourse as content creators and influencers are, it probably has not even crossed your friend's mind to make a conscious effort to break that habit when they're scrolling when they see your content. I know that might seem crazy to some of you guys, but I'm just saying. My mom's on Instagram all the time, and I can tell when she has had this like moment to snap out of the doom scrolling action. It happens like every couple weeks or like once a month, and I'll see her go back into my profile and like absolutely everything that she missed, even though I know some of the content she's actually technically seen before because she's talked about it with me. But again, she's not an influencer, she's not a content creator. It's not like programmed in her brain to like stop and engage as she's scrolling. And I'm not gonna hold that against her. It is nice, of course, that she does go back and engage, but I think that's because she has a little bit more of a sensitivity to how it all works and how it affects my business. So she's trying. I think that we can't expect that from every single person that we know in real life. Now, I do think there is a small subset of people that we can feel a little certain type of way of for not engaging with our content. And those are the people that will be like super silent throughout your entire journey, kind of treating what you're doing as like this cute little thing that will never amount to anything. And then only when you make it and find success do they want to sidle up to you, be up all in your everything, and be associated with you. Simultaneously, these acquaintances that are all suddenly in your DMs wanting advice when they've never so much as liked or commented on anything. You don't need to put up with that. Okay, so now I do want to say that I am now realizing that keeping this mentality of not caring is a lot easier said than done. I found it really easy to be unbothered by lack of engagement when my content was primarily focused on natural hair content, or even on this channel where I primarily share content creating tips. But recently, when I started my vlog channel, where I'm documenting my husband and I's move across the world, here to Hong Kong, this little voice in the back of my head started to speak up when I started to realize that lots of people back home weren't watching them. Now, first, this was very hypocritical of me because I know full well that vlogs are not for everyone. I don't even really watch that many vlogs, save for trying my very best to keep up with the ones from the people I know IRL. But my vlogs have been performing really well. People have come up to me on the street here to tell me how much they enjoy them. And above all, my vlogs feel like the most me thing that I have ever done online. And I've realized that this is where the sting comes in a bit. The more wrapped up you are in your content, the more closely tied it is to you and your self-expression, the more it might sting when the people who you know and love the most aren't interested in it. And so I want to acknowledge that feeling and hold space for it. Like, our feelings are valid, but none of that makes sense from a business or strategy perspective. And so we have to keep and process that feeling separate so that it doesn't affect how or whether or not we show up creating content online. But I'm also reminding myself that even though my brain is trying to convince me that, like, if somebody were your friend, they would want to keep up with your vlogs and like see how you're doing, settling into like a new world, a new life. I have to remember that, again, all of the above, everything I said previously still applies. People are still burnt out from consuming media. People also have different tastes, different interests in how they like to consume stories online or stories from other people. As much as my vlog content might feel like an extension of me, it still isn't all of me. Maybe there are friends in my life that would happily sit and read an entire email or massive letter about all of my adventures here in Hong Kong. I have other friends that would probably happily listen to voice notes of me talking for hours about it, but maybe vlogs or video is not their medium of choice. I also do want to note that like in all situations, there's usually always like a friend or multiple friends or like a whole subsect of your friendships that do engage and do support. But it's like human nature to focus in on the ones that aren't showing up for you the way like you think they should. I feel like we could even go down a whole love languages spiral here, but like focus, Kay. This is where we share content creating tips, not like deep friendship life advice. The beauty of creating content and posting it online is that we are able to reach and resonate with the people who align best with not just us, but the information that we're putting out there and the way we are communicating it. I have made a ridiculous amount of new friends from posting on social media, people with like my super niche, unique interests, people who think the way I do or see the world the way I do. And it would be such a shame to have not met them simply because the friends and family that I had around me when I started posting content online weren't watching, liking, and commenting. If you're a content creator, I really hope that this left you with some food for thought and hopefully some encouragement to not let how your friends and family show up for you in your content affect how you persevere in the content creating space. If you want more content creating tips, stick around. Thanks for watching and until next time.
Hello.
Oh, I know you're so upset up here. Hello.